Hello everyone. In this video, we will see about more details about the React lifecycle hooks. So in the previous video, we have seen a basic small example of how the lifecycle method works in ReactJS. So one of example is we have used the component did mount, where we use the use cases which is given in the React documentation of this clock example, so which is getting updated every second, and then it rendered the new data on the UI. So let's get started. So if we go to detail component API reference here, we see that we have initially we have the mounting, we have the updating, and we have the unmounting. Okay, so these are the three separate criteria which we can split this life cycle. First is the mounting hooks, which is like in consist of constructor get the props from the parent component, the render, and the component did mount. So constructor we have seen in example, right? This is the constructor which only rendered once the component is mount to the parent component. The example is here, like if we have seen on the last example, is we see that set the state and props, which is here is the component state. Okay, then receive props is the one which also is a hooks, but I'm not sure if this can be tested in somewhere here. I mean, once we receive a props, we always make a super call. So if we put something here, then that will render fast, then the props will go second. So that's my understanding. Then it goes to render, right? The render, we know that render is rendered here. Once the render is done, then we load the component did mount. So if we log here something, we know that, and if we reload, we see that component did mount loaded. This is because we have 3, we can remove maybe 2, and we can see example for only 1. So we have this component did mount only one time. Okay, so next is the after the mounting we have the update. Okay, so component will mount was previously added on the hooks, but then later it was removed, so it's unsafe to use. So we'll recommend this not to be used in the production code. So update is the component receive props from the parents, and then should component update render, and then component did update. So component did update actually is the one which most of the time we're gonna use for the updating. It return as the current state and the previous state, and we can compare this between two. And the unmount is the one we have seen when the component get removed from the parent or in the DOM, then it emit this component will unmount. So we can log here unmount. So in case it gets unmounted, we can see from the element. But in case for us, right, if we want to remove that, we need to write some conditional logic which we can see later also. So in this tutorial we're gonna see how this component did update work. So we can go in the details. So we, as we mentioned, right, it return a previous props previous state and the current state. So we can always do something like this. So we can say previous props previous state the snapshot of the current state. Now if we just reload the page, first we will see the previous state snapshot is undefined, and the snapshot is undefined, and the previous state was the props was this. And after we done it, we have seen the previous state as previous prop is empty because we don't have any props in this component. We have this previous state, which is this, and we can always get the current state of this from the state itself. So yeah, so that's how we receive the previous state data. We can see example, right? So every time if we see the date, it is getting changed, right? So 29, 30, 31.30.1, 2. So every second it is changing, and it will always come to this hook to see if it is updated. So the use case scenario will be like if you have some socket data or something, and if you want to compare with the previous data if it is updated or not with the current state, then this is very useful. Yeah, so component will unmount, I have explained already. So this is the rarely used lifecycle should component updated. This is the one. So it is used, the method is section cross and uncommon use case. This is handy once it is while, but most of the lifecycle probably don't need that time. You can see the most blah blah blah. So this is the lifecycle diagram we can use. So we have this constructor, we have this render, which is rendering every time there is an update or on the mounting time, and then the new props, set state, and then force update, and every time the component did mount, this is the mounting event we have seen. On the other side, component did update is the one which just now we have seen, and then we have this unmount event. These are the basic React hooks we know. So there is another way also we can achieve this. So currently we have seen only the class component in React, right? What if we use a functional component? How we gonna use those lifecycle? So we have something called React hooks, which we will see in the next video. If there is any question or anything you would like to ask, please feel free to ask me in the comment box, and I would really request you to share these videos with your friends, or you want any improvement or anything, always feel free to comment on the chat box. I will be happy to give you update. Thank you, and have a good day.